All right. Hey, everybody give it up for Greg. He's been amazing. He gives us time. I'd like to introduce a couple more of my friends. Mike, you've already know, but Ron, you don't know. And you know Natessa. Why don't you all come on up? Watch out, Mike. He pushed you? Yeah. No. Well, no? No. All right. Well, these two clowns here have been... Why are you guys sitting so far away from each other? Like you don't like each other or something? Oh, all right. Right here. You guys have mics. You can use them. You put them right here. Yeah. And then you can right here. You can talk. Right there. Okay. It's pretty awesome. So
you got something I can hang this so I don't have to
right there. Well, I'll talk to the production staff. Your belly's doing a good job. All right. So, anyways, Mike and Ron have both been going through the program at Arukah. And Ron, I'm going to start with you real quick. Tell us a little bit about your life journey before arriving at Arukah and how you kind of found Arukah.
Oh, okay. So I lived my life outside the law a lot. I was doing a lot of things, just like what Dwight was talking about. And I ended up going to prison for a very long time. I ended up in prison for 34 years. And while I was in prison, I didn't find God. God kind of came and got me, right? So while I was in prison, I stopped using drugs. I stopped doing all the nonsense stuff. And I believe that God said, okay, he's ready, right? So he came and got me. And he said, he showed me a flyer. It said meditation group. And I thought, okay, because I really wanted to go to it. I thought, man, this is really cool. And so I started going to this meditation group, but I didn't know was in the meditation group, I'm sitting with God for 20 minutes. And God was fixing me. He was working on me. And so I started having a relationship with God. I started walking with God. And I started going to church. I started doing things. I started playing in the worship team. There, Tracy. And, one thing that I didn't know was, the Holy Spirit, it's always there for everybody, but only when you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior do you have that personal coach, that personal person, that thing that's guiding you. I started understanding where I was broken and how, and just why all that stuff was going on. And so I started getting a lot better. And I was in the church a lot. And while I was on the worship team and doing stuff in the church, I met Leslie. Leslie's over there, Leslie. So with Leslie and then Mark. Is Mark still here?
I think Mark's right.
Mark, you still here? Oh, and Mark. So I talked with Mark all the time. He would come in, he volunteered so that we could have practice for our worship. And Mark was a great guy, talked to him every time, and he talked about Arukah. And that's how I heard about Arukah. And so whenever I finally get my opportunity, which I never thought would ever happen, I go to the board, and the first time I got denied, but the second time I got found suitable. And so I finally get out, right? And God does what he does. He puts us where he wants us. Yeah. And like I said, he came and got me. I didn't have anything to do with that. I was not walking with God at all, and he came and got me. And when I got out of prison, I came to your guys' program. I connected with you guys. You contacted me when I sent the email. You contacted me back. We started talking, and I got accepted in your program. You wrote letters saying that I was accepted, and the parole board said, hey, we want you to go to Arukah, right? So that's how I ended up there. That's how I heard about it, and that's how I ended up there.
So in what ways have the staff at Arukah supported your continued growth?
Well, I did a lot of work while I was in prison, but none of that was the work out here, right? Because being in society is way different than being in prison. And so...
Things have changed a little bit.
Yeah, at 34 years, yeah. Yeah, there was no internet, there was none of that stuff, so I needed a lot of help. And so the staff, you know, it's like it was spoke about earlier, you know, you guys gave me a space to work through all the things that I was going through. I had a lot of energy, you know, I'm sure you can remember that. I had a lot of energy, and I finally slowed down a little, but with your guys' guidance, I was able to get into the community. So one of the greatest things that I never expected when I got out of prison, being part of this program, was that you guys work together with all these other churches. It's a community of churches that come together that helps the whole community. You know, I go to Sunset over there with Pastor D and everybody over there, Pastor Justin, all you guys, and I'm on the worship team over there. I work with Roland, passing out food. We go over to Vineyards and New Beginnings. We do Bible studies there. And so there's a whole community that I get to work with, right? And that's because of the staff, you guys. Mark introduced me to Pastor D and Sunset, and you to New Beginnings, and it's just been amazing, the things that you guys helped us, guided us to, right? I mean, I had the desire, but I had no knowledge of what to do with it. And you guys helped me get to where I am now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Give it up for Ron.
Thank you, Ron, for sharing. So there's some people here tonight that have been your backbone through a lot of, most of your life, all of your life. Yeah. And even before you came to Arukah, would you like to acknowledge who they are and then just give them a shout out or a thanks from the stage?
My backbone is my mom and dad. Woo! Right here. They've been through everything with me. They came and they were with me through the trial. They would come and see me no matter what prison I was at. They would come and see me at least once a month. They were always there with love. They gave me love. You know, they helped me. They couldn't be there with me, but they were. And it's because of them that I was able to survive 34 years in prison. And then, you know, I have my brother, Kevin, and then his amazing family, Heidi and Drake and Trinity, and there's a few other kids that, you know, and I wasn't there for almost all their lives, but I know them because they all got to come see me, and they supported me in a lot of stuff. And then there's my daughter, Jessica. Yeah, that was amazing, getting the tablets, right? So we got our tablets, because I was able to talk to her a little bit, but they weren't really good conversations. And we got our tablets, and I was able to talk to her 15 minutes at a time, but like 2 hours. We actually started having a good relationship, and she helped me work through a lot of things while I was getting ready for the board. You know, we had some really great conversations, and there's a lot of unpacking of stuff, and it's not easy to get through. And I had a lot of guilt when it came to her, because, you know, she was 3, and so it was not easy. And it's because of all of them that I'm here, and I'm doing good. I get out of prison, my brother comes and picks me up, and, you know, he comes and sees me every weekend. And now he helped get me a job. I see him every day. He bosses me around, but, you know, but it's still, I'm having a great time. And it's because of you guys that I'm out of prison and I'm doing as well as I am. So thank you.
Excellent. It is amazing to have that support, and I see it, and we talk about it all the time, and it doesn't always happen that way with families, and that you have a family that is supportive all the way through is amazing. So I give it to your family, and you know, they're pretty amazing. So That's awesome. Well, hey, I want to switch to Mr. Michael right here. Let me ask you something. You've been with us since July 15th, is that right?
Yes, last year, yeah.
July 15th. Wow, that's a while. It's good. I know.
I'm getting there.
Yeah? Well, let me ask you, Michael, what brought you to Arukah?
Well, what brought me to Arukah was about, I don't know, in 2020 when I was in prison one time, and I was talking to a friend, well, not a friend of mine, but somebody that I met in Bible study, and I've been writing a lot of letters to programs and stuff, and nobody was answering me back, and I was talking to this guy, and he said, well, if you really want to change your life, I'll give you the address of some place called the Arukah House. The guy's name is Josh Jonas. And you write him a letter and you tell him what's going on and how you want to change your life and tell him a little bit about yourself. So I did that, and not expecting a response, but like 2 or 3 weeks later, I get a letter back from Josh, sending me an application, fill out an application. So I did that and everything. So he accepted me to the program. So I go out there, and when I got there, it was like right before the pandemic hit, and they locked everything down, and so I was just there because I didn't have no programs to go to. There was no AAs or NAs, or church was shut down and everything. So I wasn't putting a full effort into my recovery and to change myself. So anyways, after 6-7 months, I went back to Palm Springs, which was like another one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life. But
on that though, you were on that program, the ACP, and he was our first one in 2020. And what we didn't realize is that it's an accelerated way of getting out of prison because you have a safe place to go. But what we didn't realize is that Mike had to go back to where he paroled, which was Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And so that was our first lesson in that, because I would have had you change your parole to stay here, because he was actually doing pretty good. You had gotten a job, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to go down south.
I had gotten I was supposed to start work at Home Depot, but because of that situation, I had to go back to Palm Springs. And it was, I fell right back into the same old thing again, and I lasted about a year, and I was back in prison again. So, anyways, I contacted Josh again, and out of the goodness of his heart, he let me come back to the program.
What was the condition, though?
The condition was you got to do one thing. You got to transfer your parole to Alameda County before you get out.
That's right.
So you're not going to go nowhere. You're staying here.
You're locked in. You're here with us.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I'm here, and I tell Josh, I'd be talking to him on the tablet, texting him, and tell him, man, Josh, I'm really worried. I don't know if I'm. And he told me, you know what, just follow my lead, and you'll be all right. So that's what I've been doing, and it seems to be working just great.
There you go.
Thank you for sharing, Mike. So, both of these men up here, I've had a lot of time to get to know them, and I'll share a little bit more as we continue the interview. But I absolutely know that God has been present in their lives, and they are claiming that as well. So, Michael, what have you recently prayed for, knowing God heard you and answered your prayers?
One thing is a reunification with my kids, my children. I mean, it's awesome. It's amazing. I finally seen my son on Christmas Eve. I went out and seen him at his house. I haven't seen him in almost 5 years, and I got to hold it. He just had a baby on December 1st, and I got to hold my grandson, which was awesome. And it was just an answered prayer from God. And then my daughters, and they're texting me back like, it's crazy.
It's amazing. I get this picture of Christmas Eve of him holding his grandson, and it was fantastic. I mean, it's fantastic, and it's you're putting the work into it, but and your family is seeing it, and we're starting to see them come around to letting you back in their life, and it's really awesome to watch.
Well, like right now, after I got off the stage with you and John, and I looked at my phone, and I seen a text from my daughter, Kayla, and she said, "Congratulations." And I said, "I'm trying." I said, "Thank you, I'm trying." She texted me, she responded back, she said, it's just that she sees that and that I'm trying a lot harder than I have all the other times that I've gotten out, and she says, and that's fantastic. So
That's awesome.
I mean, and that was
Amen.
like another prayer from God right there. I mean, right after I got off the stage, I mean, it's
Is she watching right now?
I apparently.
Is she?
Yeah, I
You
sent
gotta say
her
hello
the
to her.
link.
Say hello to her.
Hi, Kayla.
There you go.
I love you.
Hi,
I
Kayla.
miss you.
And how many other kids do you have? You want to name them up here and say hello? You want to name your other children and say
Oh,
hello?
I'm also my son Nick. I mentioned him already. My grandson, and then my other daughter Taryn, and my son Michael, and then my other son Chris. So I got a few kids, and I love them. I miss them all, and that's a big reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I need to be back with them, and God's doing that. He's working in my life, and you know, I'm not just sitting on the couch waiting for it to come. I'm putting in footwork, you know, with direction from Josh and encouragement and support, and Tessa and Mark, everybody. Just, I mean, I got just so much support and encouragement in my life now. It's something that I haven't had much of, but I mean, it's
awesome.
yes, it is.
All right, give it up for Mike.
All right. So I think you can all tell the bromance that's happening here, even though they're blaming the pillow in between them.
Let me get a drink of that.
It's coffee. But these two men, Ron came first. He was admitted first into the program, and then Michael came. But both of them together, their connection, their friendship, their support, they somehow have aligned to become like a really tight braided rope. And they have shifted the culture of Arukah in a way, and this is not to say anything negative about anyone before them, but there's a different level of wisdom, life experience, you know, their stage of change. They are active all the time to change something like the water faucet or clean out the fridge or all of these things that are at Arukah's physical house. But together, they're also shifting the culture of how residents get along. And so I just wanted to ask a couple questions and see if you guys can share a little bit about, don't frown like you don't love him. But Ron, I know your time at Arukah has been less than a year, but in that time, you've impacted the program in many ways. Also, one way is he's helped shift curriculum. All my pages. But let's see. Will you share a little bit about how your friendship that you've developed with Michael has brought more support to your life? Can you share a little bit about the friendship you've developed with Mike? This is what I deal with.
I was harassing you with Mike, right? So sorry.
Share a little bit about your friendship with Michael and how that has been helpful.
I got to the program, you know, we had Andy and Dwight and Greg, and they were all finishing up the program, and they worked, right? They all worked. So I was there for a month, and then Mike came in, and we started talking, and we just did everything together. We started going and doing all the pickups, doing all the everything, working with Roland, all the stuff we were doing together. And we just connected. You know, we started, I don't know, I think we were both on had the same mentality, right? This was our opportunity. You know, God brought us to here.
Our last chance.
Yeah, God brought us here. He put us together. And we weren't going to let that just be, right? So we embraced it. We started we started going to Sunset Church, hanging out with all of them, doing stuff, going and cleaning the community. We were doing all these different things, and it was just amazing, you know. Walking with Mike is been such a help for me. I don't, you know, you say bromance, I agree with that, right? I got my family, we call him my bigger brother, right? I don't know how I got stuck in the middle. I used to be the oldest, but now I got Mike, my older brother, my younger brother, and they call him Big Uncle Mike. So, you know, it's really been amazing, because I wasn't alone. You know, I had my family and everything, but Mike was there every day with me, and it was nice. It was really nice that had somebody that wanted to walk with God, wanted to do God's will, and we were experiencing things. We were experiencing what we would call miracles, you know, together, right? Like when he was talking about, we're praying for him to reconnect with his family. And he comes out and he tells me, hey, guess what? I just got a text from my son. I'm like, what, really? And so, yeah, we got to share a lot of good things, and it was amazing. And I'm definitely sitting here doing as good as I am because he's with me. So, awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great.
Michael, I know that as we've talked before in preparation for tonight, you shared that at Arukah you have had support that you've never really had before in your life. Obviously, Ron is part of that. Can you just touch a little bit and share from your vantage point what you've experienced with this guy and
Ron?
all your support, and with Ron?
Oh, Ron, Ron has been a big part of my life and part of helping me get through my problems and stuff. Because if I'm going through something, Ron was there. I could talk to him, and he'd hug me, tell me it's going to be all right. But yeah, me and Ron's friendship, it's just grown into more than a friendship. You know, we've developed an awesome bond. I mean, he's supported me in everything I've been doing, and like he said, you know, praying together for things. Like when Ron was getting a little antsy there because he wanted to go to work and the jobs weren't coming through for him, I tell him, just be patient. The right job will come, and finally, the right job came. Yeah, God put him in the perfect. I mean, we went through that together, and me and him went through my problems, and then I mean, it's just not. You know, I get a lot of support from you too, Natasha and Josh. You know, I've watched Josh and I follow him and see how he acts and treats people, and I learn by that and watching. And that, I mean, and just being, but spending every day with Ron, like he said, we did everything together. Everything, meetings, everything. I'm telling you, go to the store together. You know, he's going somewhere, I was going with him, or I go say he's going with me too. So I mean, he's like a brother to me. You know, I love him.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Great. So this is definitely something that it's an idyllic friendship and brotherhood that's been established, and this is definitely something that we could not cultivate. God put that together. But I definitely, before we end this time, I definitely want to share that, Jessica, to you, and then to all of your kids, Mike, that are watching, like, your fathers have poured their hearts out, and they are working so hard on who they are, and that love is real. And I work with a lot of people, and the love and care and desire to reunify is super genuine with both of you, and I am our eyes are getting glossy up here. It's definitely a privilege for me to support you in any way I can, and I only know how to have a healthy connection with my dad as an adult because of how good he is. So that trickles down to you in one way or another, but we are here for life for you, and we are also here for you, your families as well. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, another thing. Josh told me one time, once you're part of the Arukah family, you're always a part of the Arukah family.